What's up, y'all? It's Maryland's Governor Wes Moore. And today, and I'm very excited about this, I get a chance to answer some of your burning questions. All right, let's rock. First one. How is Wes Moore? Blessed and highly favored. How old is Wes Moore? I am 46 years old. I'd give you the half year, but I'm not a child anymore. How tall is Wes Moore? I am 6'1.5", but it's funny because when I was playing high school basketball, they always jacked up. So if you look at my old stuff, it probably says I was like 6'3". That was never the case, actually. Wes Moore, Wes Moore of Maryland married. Yes, Wes Moore of Maryland very happily married. Wes Moore have children. Yes, Wes Moore has two beautiful children, a 14-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. Wes Moore, left-handed. I'm a little bit weird where I write with my left and right. I throw with my right. I play baseball with my left. I actually think what probably happened was I might have been born a left-hander, but then my family thought that was just weird. So they then forced me to become a right-hander and just put everything in my right hand. All right, next batch. What is Wes Moore's what is Wes Moore's email? So my email is, what is Wes Moore's middle name? I actually have two different middle names because my dad wanted one and my mom wanted one. So they actually gave me both. My father wanted Watende, which means revenge will not be sought. And my mother wanted Omari, which means the highest. That is the reason that my full name is Wesley Watende Omari Moore. What is Wes Moore's ethnicity? I am African American and very proud so. But I have a pretty different background where my grandfather was actually born in the US, but was really raised in Jamaica. My grandmother was born in Cuba. We have a whole lot of different history, cultures, ethnicities inside of our background. What is Governor Wes Moore's favorite team? You are always going to catch me hanging out at either Orioles or Ravens games. Go O's and go Ravens. What is Wes Moore's workout program? So I enjoy working out with the midshipmen at the Naval Academy. But also when I'm not working out with them, I love going on hikes all across the multiple great trails that we have all throughout the state of Maryland. And I hope to see you out there. All right, next round. What has Wes Moore written? I've actually written 5 different books. The first book that I wrote was a book called The Other Wes Moore. The last book that I wrote was a book called 5 Days. I think the work might be my favorite. What has Wes Moore done for Maryland? This is a good question because I am so thankful that we have now driven unemployment to historic lows within the state of Maryland, now having Maryland with one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country, that we have had one of the fastest drops in violent crime anywhere in the United States of America since our administration has come on board, that we've been able to do things like raise the minimum wage. We've been able to do things like have the largest mass pardons in the history of the United States of America. We've been able to increase housing inventory and make sure people have a greater opportunity to become homeowners and home buyers. We've been able to, you get the point. What has Wes Moore done for young people? So I love this because one of the real reasons that I'm the governor of the state of Maryland is because young people saw us first. And it wasn't just the fact that we won historic numbers of young voters when they came out and supported us for governor, but we also made a pledge that we were going to make sure that young people were always involved in the administration. And so many of the things we've been able to get done, like the service year, like the mass pardons, we've been able to get done inside of the state of Maryland. None of that could have happened had it not been for young people who are at the table. So we have made the largest investments in education in our state's history. We've been able to invest over $1.3 billion into Maryland's HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, and making sure that they have what they need to thrive. We've been able to make the largest investments in things like the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit to make sure all of our children have a chance to grow and succeed. And so we're really thankful for the work we've been able to get done, not just for young people, but honestly, the work we've been able to get done with young people. What has Governor Wes Moore done to create jobs? This was a core focus for ours because when we first came on board, Maryland was ranked 43rd in the country in unemployment. So we had a real problem getting people into the workforce. So we said, how do we focus on making it easier for people to be able to work? So we made some of the largest investments in our state history in trade programs and saying that we have some of the best four-year colleges in America, but we're going to end the myth that every single one of our students needs to attend one of them. We've also been able to make it easier for our entrepreneurs. And so this is not just about having an education system that's teaching young people how to be employees. It's teaching them how to be employers. And we've had an education system that's really focused on creating more entrepreneurship, having procurement reform, so we could do things like get more state contracts to Maryland businesses. And that has been able to drive Maryland to now having historically low unemployment rates for over a year and a half now. What has Wes Moore done about child poverty? When I first said I wanted to run for governor, and I said that the one issue that I was going to make our issue was this issue of childhood poverty. And when people said, don't focus on it, it's too difficult, it doesn't poll well, I basically said, if we're not going to focus on the issue that I think is society's largest wound, then what are we doing here? And so we made sure that ending childhood poverty was a core goal in the state of Maryland. And we are proud that in our first sessions, we were able to do things like raising a minimum wage, having an enhanced earned income tax credit, an enhanced child tax credit, and also passing something called the Enough Act, which stands for engaging neighborhoods, organizations, unions, governments, and households. That bill is the first time in our country's history where the investments are not just happening to communities, they're happening from communities. And it's the most concentrated effort that we have had in our state's history to be able to address areas of concentrated and generational child poverty. In the state of Maryland, we will end child poverty and we will get it done in our time. All right, these are good. Here we go. Where was Wes Moore born? I was born in Tacoma Park, Maryland. Where did Wes Moore go to college? So this is actually a good question because the answer is two different places. I graduated from Valley Forge Military College, where I got my associate's degree, and that's actually where I went to my two-year college. And also I went to Johns Hopkins University. Where did Wes Moore play football? I played football at Johns Hopkins University. I never played football before I went and played college football. And what happened was the old football coach there, a guy named James Margraf, who was a great mentor of mine, came and saw me playing basketball and came up and was like, have you ever thought about playing football? And I went out, I did some drills for him, and he said, what do you think about coming and being a wide receiver for the football team? And that was how I began my illustrious college football career. Did Wes Moore graduate college? Barely. No, just kidding. I graduated college, and actually I did well. I ended up graduating Phi Beta Kappa and then actually getting a Rhodes Scholarship going on to Oxford University for grad school. So I enjoyed my college experience and I did pretty good. Is Governor Wes Moore, in a fraternity? Yes, Governor Wes Moore is in a fraternity and there is only one, and it is Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. Anything else is an imitator. Does Governor Wes Moore speak Spanish? Sí, pero un poquito. So yes, I do speak Spanish, but I speak Spanish probably as well as a fourth grader. My grandmother, who was actually born in Cuba, and I came up around a lot of people who spoke Spanish, but it's been a while since I've been able to really dig into it. But yes, I do speak a fair amount of Spanish. All right, thanks for tuning in, y'all. I really enjoyed seeing what people see when you try to Google my name. I look forward to more questions. Keep them coming, and Maryland, let's keep rocking.